Hello, greetings, welcome. What's going on? This is Courtney Rollins with the Life in Transitions Experts YouTube channel, Facebook group, and I do believe I am live on Instagram with the Life in Transitions Experts channel. I'm also the founder and operator of Estate Pro Service LLC, where I hope folks make the probate process and estate planning easier, all while generating income and wealth primarily through real estate. Now, this is the LITE Life and Transition Experts channel. We're talking about big transitions, helping people through some of those big transitions. As an investor for real estate, quite often there's real estate involved in people's big changes or transitions in life, whether they're moving, perhaps they're getting married, perhaps there is a death in the family. There are tons of big transitions that involve property. Really, almost everything that we do relates in some way and aspect to property. It's either in a building or has some connection to land, right? So today we're actually talking about a big change in life that happens, a divorce, and what happens, particularly in North Carolina, when someone goes through the divorce and they actually have real property like a house. And we're going to discuss that today. Now, disclaimer: I'm not an attorney, and I'm not giving any legal or financial advice. If you need an attorney, please, you can still reach out to me because I can connect you to a great network of attorneys that I have across the nation, really. Connect to a vetted professionals to support and help you, particularly if you are in North Carolina. But also, uh, just note that it's very important, even if you don't connect with me, to reach out to someone to help you figure these the nuances out specific to your space. Now, many moons ago, many years ago, when I was super young, I actually was married early and was divorced early as well. Now, being a super young guy, I didn't have much assets underneath me, or we didn't have anything together, so it was almost like a um, I don't know, elevated breakup of because there wasn't really much for us to split or have to discuss. Um, but I do remember the challenge, the stress, and the anguish. So I could only imagine it being increased when there was actually property involved. So I am, I feel you, and yeah. So let's talk about what some things to consider. Let's look at really four things to consider. What about the house in a divorce, right? So one thing we want to think about when you're going through divorce is this property a marital property or is it a separate property? And that's normally going to be determined by how the property was acquired. What's on the deed? Uh, did you have legal instruments in place, like a prenup or something in place? Because in North Carolina, particularly, once you get married, you guys basically co-own that. Now, you could have designation on your deed where there's tenancy in common or joint ownership that would actually change what happens when there is a divorce. But if there's nothing in place, then hey, that person co-owns your percentage of that property and can make claims towards that during the distribution side of the divorce. So make sure that you're aware of that. That's why it's really important to think about how you're going to buy a property, how you deed it, things of that nature. Important things to consider. So, what is the actual? Is the property a marital property or is it a separate property based on the title and deed? All right. Equitable distribution. Now, there are North Carolina follows the principle of equitable distribution, which means that they'll try to divide the marital property fairly. Equitable does not mean always equal, because it could have taken consideration what someone's gone accustomed to as far as the living situation, to what someone's buying, or I want to say buying power, but their income and things of that nature. So, equitable does not always mean equal. Example, this could be um, if it was equal, we'd all receive the same size shoes, regardless of our size of our feet. Equitable means you receive the size shoe that fits your feet. So that's something to consider when they're talking about splitting the proceeds or splitting property up. And then negotiations. There's always possibility for negotiation, just because there are certain laws and rules folks could follow. With these are I don't want to say guidelines, but they are put there in case spouses can't get to their own amicable terms. So depending on negotiation, there may be a spouse that says, "Hey, I just want to bail on everything. You can take care of all this as long as this stuff's in place. As long as it's documented, and as long as everyone agrees, and it's of course legal, you could do that. All right. And then another thing to consider are court orders. There may be some court orders that are in place that require someone to sell or force the division of the property, or maybe sell their stake or ownership in the property. So that's something to very much be aware of, and all. And sort of connected to the equitable distribution, there will be financial considerations. What's the financial status of the spouse? What are they contributing to the house? What is the best interest if there are children or stakeholders involved? What's the best interest of those folks? So those considerations will come into place by the divorce office divorce space. And then there may be finally we're going to talk about there may be opportunity for temporary possession. Let's say someone needs time to move out or go on to their next space. The court may grant temporary possession of the home under specific circumstances to a spouse until the divorce is finalized. These are all important things to consider when you're thinking about that. Definitely consult with the divorce attorney. I Feel free to reach out to me. I can connect you with some great estate or divorce attorneys that can help you in the journey and help you really resolve this part of your life and get on to the rest of your life. All right. Hope this was helpful to you. Uh, Divorces do happen, and they unfortunately are a part of life, but they don't have to be the end all be all for you. And definitely having information can help you deal with the property and with the divorce in a more efficient way. All right, this is Courtney with the LITE Life in Transitions Experts channel. Let your light shine.